seems like it's scoring you higher because of quantity rather than quality on your website. You're saying a coffee place, you're going to sell coffee, have as many pages as you can or more content, which might be, nobody's going to ever read, but it's just scoring you higher on, is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that it's both. Quantity is important, and then quality is important, because you won't get inbound links to your website if you don't have good quality content. They're both equally as important. So you want to have a bunch of people linking to you because you've got great content, and then you want to have tons of it, and those two things will work together.
Relevant to his question, what creates an indexed page? For instance, if you have a website, let's say it has 10 pages you set up originally, and I know on mine, when you go to Google though, and analytics, it shows registered pages, many multiples of that. So what creates an
Do you
indexed
have
page?
PDFs that you've uploaded? You have to have other content that would show up as pages. So at our website, we structured it, and it's all about how it was built and what the structure is. But a new page could be event listings, a new page could be blog posts, new pages can be PDFs that you've uploaded, new pages can be articles that you've uploaded. It depends on how you've structured it and how you've created the URLs to make sure that all of those are indexable pages by Google. Set it up so that as you're publishing things, you're creating more pages. Now you can also set it up so that when you're publishing things, there's no more pages created. If your blog is not indexable, or if your blog is off your main website, so if you have a blog, it should be at your domain name, whatever the extension, blog. And then it should be building URLs that are crawlable through your sitemap and through other things to make those pages be indexable. So it's all about how it's getting created and making sure that you're structuring it in a way that you're going to maximize these different things, right? And when I say Starbucks, 6,000 pages, I mean that's like the 800-pound gorilla. Most of the sites that you want to compete with, if I say in Taekwondo in Denver or martial arts in Denver, I would venture to say that nobody's focusing on this a great deal. They're doing a good job at what they're doing, but they might have 30 or 40 or 50 pages. It's not a lot. And so building a website that you consciously say, how am I going to create that much content, gets pretty easy to do. It's not a hard proposition. So how can social media help? So for site saturation, I was thinking about this, and one of the things that we talked about last month was generating content. What's your content plan? And so to provide regular, consistent, on-brand content for social media marketing, you've got to first of all create the content. And I think this is where a lot of people lose it. They say, oh, I need to tweet today, and they haven't made any relevant on-brand content. They wind up tweeting crap. and so I'm going to say that if you're publishing things at your website that are good, that are relevant, that people would want to link to, that have meaning, that have value to your target audience, and then you're using that for your tweets and for your Facebook and for the rest of the things, that you're going to probably produce overall better content out there in the world, instead of just saying, hey, it's tweet day, what should I say? You need to be good and on brand. So if you first publish the content to your website in a blog, for example, you can dynamically increase your overall website site saturation. So 3 posts a week, if you write 3 posts a week for a year, you're going to add 156 pages of content to your website. If most of your competitors have, 20, 30, 50, 80, 100 pages, and you've got your base website plus 156 blog posts, now you're winning. Inbound links and relevancy. So this is the second thing, the number of inbound links. So by using social media to tell people about the great content that's published at your website, more and more people are going to, number one, come to your website and have the opportunity to convert. Number two, more and more people are going to create links from outside into your website. And so you're building these inbound links. Now, let's talk a little bit about inbound links and outbound links. If you can avoid it, you don't want to ever link out of your website. You don't want to take people away from you. You are giving up some of your page rank when you link out. but you want the whole world within your industry, within relevant sites, to link over to you, right? So if I'm a lawyer and the Harvard Law Review links to me, and all these big institutions link to me, Google will look at that and they'll say, wow, this must be a relevant website. If Susie's ballet slipper shop links over to me, Google's going to say, I don't really care. That's not a very good inbound link. The other thing is inbound links and relevancy is every time you post something at your website, give people the ability to share it. So share this is a very, very easy way of doing this. You can hook share this up to your website, and that way anytime anybody reads something at your website, they can click this little icon and they can share this. And they can go add it to their Facebook, and when you think about that, you know, it sounds like, oh, do they need to do that? But really what they're doing is they're telling 500 people, if they have 500 friends, this is a relevant site. And you can increase your inbound links, and you can increase your exposure, and you can increase what people are thinking about you. So you share this so that people can share the information that you're publishing at your website, right? So I think without this anchor of putting the content at your website, you're not getting everything that you can out of doing social media. If you're creating great, valuable content, why not just stick it at your website first and then drive everybody to that through the rest of the channels that you're using? And that's probably the best approach for getting out there. Okay, very good. Website URLs. So by making your website content has URLs with keywords probably formatted. So what you want to do is you want to make sure when you do a post that you're including keywords inside that post, or inside that update, or inside that tweet, or inside the tags if you're posting a video or whatever. I see a lot of tweeting that's going on out there, and there's no keywords in it whatsoever. And I'm not saying that every single time you do it, it's got to have these 3 keywords in it or it get kind of old. But if you want people to find you under certain topics, you've got to include these things. We did the website for Public Service Credit Union. We put out a little tweet that said, you know, credit union, website, net launch, here's a link. And a company in California called us and they said, oh, we market credit unions. We have 6 clients that need new websites. Okay? If I didn't put the keywords in that tweet, they would not find us. So every time you put something out there, be conscious, you know, of what you have to say, but also there ought to be some keywords. There ought to be some relevancy. There ought to be a way that if somebody went to Twitter and did a search, or if somebody went to Facebook and did a search, that they're going to find what it is you're looking to build awareness around your brand for. Does that make sense? Who in here does that? Whenever they're writing a tweet, they think about what keywords am I going to score for when I put this out? A couple people. All right, not too many. Do that, and you will get a lot more returns out of what you're putting out there socially. And I'm not saying prostitute. I'm not saying, you know, hey, spam everybody with this thing. It has to be good, relevant information, number one. But if you can be aware of what keywords you're putting in there, that'll help an awful lot, right? So next is website titles, header tags, body content, interlinking, crawlability. There again, in your social media, just make sure you're using keywords. Google recently has merged your local search results with the organic search results for specific geographic areas. And some of the things that they're looking at that I mentioned are, you know, your physical address is number one, but outside of your physical address, they're looking at, are people referencing you, talking about you, and doing different things.
My name is Steve Kessler. I'm the owner of Denver Dataman. We're a computer training and web development company, and we do want to try and do things just a little bit differently with the tips groups. We have message boards set up on the meetup site, and we would really like to see people using those message boards to discuss the tips during the weeks between our meetings. So if you're coming in and you're saying, you know, I have this question about YouTube, you could have already put it on our boards so that we would have had so that everybody in the group has an opportunity to see that, discuss it, and maybe even come prepared to help answer your question. So we're hoping to see that, and we'll probably send out an email about that in the next couple of weeks when the video is produced.
Good morning, my name is Mark Ryan. Our tip for LinkedIn is to check your settings. so that when you're changing your status, you want to put status updates on there, make sure that they're relevant and getting that message out.
So essentially be intentional with your use of settings in LinkedIn and all the content you put up. YouTube.
Our tip is to, when you put a YouTube video up and you do your descriptions, start your description off with a hot link to wherever you want to drive traffic to. And that hot link, maybe it's to your website, which has to include the HTTP part of it, will appear right below your video, whether someone's viewing it in your channel or on your account. But it allows people to, even if they can't finish watching your video, they've got a direct link to where they can get more information about you or the topic that you've recorded.
My name is Matthew with Benefit River Health Insurance. Our tip for Facebook was kind of based on the referral engine model. When I close business with a new client, in addition to asking them for a referral, I asked them if they would be willing to go to my business page and become a fan. In addition to that, I asked them for permission to put a post out kind of welcoming them to the Benefit River family. And if they're agreeable to that, it's kind of a win-win, because then their name is out there and my name is out there on their wall post.
With the use of hashtags in Twitter, to insert yourself into conversations that are going on in the Twitterverse around that particular word. So for people that don't know that a hashtag is, it's the # and then the word, such as tsunami or Japan. So when you search for that hashtag term in Twitter, all the tweets that contain that hashtag will come up. So it's a good way to get your name out there and to drive traffic as well.
On our side, basically the recommendation is, if you're creating something on your mobile device, if you have the opportunity to email it to yourself, it's a good idea to do that, because you never know when it might get swiped, you might lose it, might get dropped in water, but you at least have it in your email, so if you need to recreate that content, you don't have to start over.
All right, great tips. So our next events are going to be April 15th. We're going to talk about using video in your social media marketing and how to best do that. And then on May 20th, we're going to be talking about social marketing to a targeted local audience. How can you best reach people locally through social media? And we're basically done for the day. You can give your name tags back to Amy. Thank you everybody for coming, and have a fantastic weekend.